All right, Aisha is here, my sidekick. That's what I'm going to be calling you from.
Aisha.
Yeah.
Let me read this message to you. Okay. Someone says you're born again, so I should tell you your place is on the pulpit and not in the studio. Oh. Are you born again?
Who said so? I mean,
maybe today you look like a pastor.
You need born agains to actually confess that I'm born again. So.
Okay, that's good.
Aisha,
so maybe we should be seeing.
Is it that you don't believe me?
I believe you. Why not? Maybe we should be seeing you on the pulpit too, doing some preaching, evangelism. So it's time now to get your views, comments, and suggestions on the most interactive segment on Joy News Prime. Now get your phones, tablets, and all the gadgets you have. Let's begin the most interesting conversation in Ghana on the most interesting news in Ghana. That's Joy News Prime. So don't miss out. Joining the discussion on facebook.com/joynewsontv, on twitter.com/joynewsontv, and on WhatsApp. The number is 0560-800,000. All right, so President Mahama will soon have dual citizenship. He can now call himself both Ghanaian and Ivorian, and those places will be his home. President of Ivory Coast will be honoring the president with the honorary citizenship. And we asked the question, what do you make of this?
What I'm saying is that it's good for the image of Ghana, the brand Ghana, the brand Mahama itself, and in a whole, I would say it's a resounding news. We should put our political affiliations and alliances aside. We should embrace it. It means the man is doing something very good internationally. If some of his policies are not working out in Ghana here, maybe probably the international world is seeing him as that icon, because you will not wake up one day and someone will name this or a baby after you. Someone will do that probably because you might have done something good, or you possess that image that naming his or a baby after you will bring a good news into the life of the baby and the family the baby represents.
Already we are complaining of other citizens migrating to Ghana to vote. It has become a top issue ahead of the November 7th election. So I think when he accepts to become a citizen, making Côte d'Ivoire his second home, it will also give, it will be a privilege to others to also come in ahead of the elections also to vote.
I think Ghana will gain some advantages because if Ghana is going through any financial problems or something like that, Côte d'Ivoire can be of help. And also in case of any disasters and we need more people to help Côte d'Ivoire, they can send members from Côte d'Ivoire to help us.
Oh, it's a laudable idea simply because this even tells the whole world that we Ghanaians, we are accommodating. For that reason, if I don't think it's bad, it's good for our democracy.
Well, in my opinion, I believe that as far as you're a Ghanaian, you should be proud of your citizenship. Being a second citizenship in another country suggests something else. It's like you are dividing your loyalty.
Then he's been honored, possibly because of the things he has done for Côte d'Ivoire and then the sub-region. I'm sure maybe it's just an appreciation for all his contribution towards the growth of West African countries.
So those were some messages coming on the streets of Accra.
All right, okay, before I get on to the messages that are coming on Facebook, it's important because a lot of people are sending in messages
that their digibox is off.
Yeah, that they're unable to scan. I've actually picked this one. This is a guide, and I've pinned it to the top of our page. So if you get to our Facebook page, you'd find it all there, and it will give you the instructions as to how to go about rescanning your digiboxes. Essentially, all that has happened, and we have been talking about the system upgrade for some time now, and it's indeed been crawling on the bottom of our screens all this while that there was going to be a system upgrade. It has happened. Some people's digiboxes are working and they're able to watch, others are unable to. But those of you, so for those of you who are unable to, just follow the guidelines here. Otherwise, again, there are numbers that are scrolling on the bottom of the screen. pick those numbers. It's a call center, and we have people standing by to take you through the process. So please do that so you can continue to enjoy the programs we have on Joy News Prime. Okay, so let's get on to the messages that are coming in reaction to President Mahama being offered, an honorary citizen of Cote d'Ivoire. It's gotten 20 shares. It means people are, pretty excited about it. And some of the comments that are coming in, Pakwesi says the last time President Mahama was awarded, he was asked to come and legalize gay. I hope this award does not come with another demand. Prince Osai says there is no sense in this performing president rewarding non-performing president. Ivory Coast is now performing far better than Ghana even after their civil war. And Dr. Rhyme says we hope this will bring some benefits to the nation as a whole and not to the president only. Otherwise, it is useless to Ghanaians. Kofi Ankoma says, why is Dr. Nanado's political mentor showering President Mahama with praises? Amazing. Nantoma says he has made the right choice because that will be his second home after the shock Ghanaians will give him in this year's elections. Chef Mother says, what a wow. So he is rewarding GM for destroying our economy to the advantage. Ha ha ha, Masrisa. And Gilbert Kobner says, the key to Abidjan meaning after his impending defeat in the November 7 polls, he's free to visit the Ivory Coast any day, anytime.
And on WhatsApp, this one says, I wish he's not even a Ghanaian cry. CIV can take him away. He's talking about Cote d'Ivoire. And this one says, tell them that Mahama, this one is, he's giving me an order. He says, read this, Tundra. Tell them that Mahama is God sent. No prophet is revered in his hometown. JDM Twa. So that's from Andy in Sechiman. This one is saying that what exactly was the owner of the boat? Okay, we'll get to that. You want to know why the boat owner was arrested. We'll get to that issue and we'll discuss that. And Oscar from Chamba says the president can use this as a yardstick to cause mayhem and run to Cote d'Ivoire. And he's saying ha ha ha. All right, so let's move on to our next story, which says the owner of a boat has been arrested. The boat that was capsized in Yeji during the weekend has been arrested. We asked you what you make of this.
I think it's bad management. The people who manage the boats, they are not doing their work well. Because in the first place, who gave the boat to that guy to drive? Or is it not the driving? Who gave him the authority, the right to go and take the car? I think that there should be a system where they look at the people and qualify them to be able to handle the boats. So if he's not qualified, why give him the boat to drive?
They wait for it to, the waters to start rising when it starts raining. What it presupposes is that it will even be difficult to see the trams, to work on them. So they should rather look at how to address the issues, because it's not the fault of the driver or the manager of the boat that this thing happened. It is unfortunate that maybe it goes to hit a tree tramp, and then it capsized.
There are things in the river that choke the boat when the boat is coming. There are trees and other things, dead trees that are in the river. So it's not everything that you can see with your naked eye. Sometimes, before you realize, sometimes the under of the boat is deeper. So before you realize, it will hit another thing that you wouldn't see. So those things can also cause the boat to capsize.
The best solution will be to rectify the problem, arresting the captain or other captains too can capsize the boat and lives may be lost. So I think the best way is to maybe fix the problem from the ground root, maybe buying new boats, building new ports, I don't know.
And I support the arrest because he was in charge of the boat, so he must be the first point for investigation. So his arrest is a step to lead for the clarification of the cause of the accident.
You can imagine the messages coming on the WhatsApp platform, but let's see what's on Facebook
first.
now.
And then D-Crime says he's charged. What happens to those people who are being paid to make sure his lanky chap These lanky chaps called boat owners abide by the rules set for operations of their boats. It's so surprising to know that people still get drowned in this 21st century of ours, where lifeboats and other life-saving equipment are easy to come by. Victor says, for what reason? What is his mistake in the midst of hopelessness? How many vehicles on our roads can we count whose drivers have been arrested after their vehicles have crashed? Why has the detachment of Navy personnel deployed on the Volta Lake been withdrawn? We always like doing stupid things, she says. And then we have Meza says, give a second thought to yourself and organize your workers on the riverside. Dr. Rhyme says, don't arrest a boat owner, arrest those in charge of safety on the waterways. Chief Mano says it's a good move, at least it will serve as a deterrent to other operators. Dem Dear says, Ghana's laws are useless, they are not effective. Stephen Ayegugu says, in Ghana, we wait for something to happen before we act. God save us. And before I hand over to you to do WhatsApp, I've also pinned the system upgrade, the guide for the system upgrade here on our Twitter account. So if you go to our Twitter profile, it's going to be the first post over there. So you can also follow that as well for those of you who are on Twitter. Exactly, or better still call any of our numbers for help. This one is saying, why did authorities wait till the boat capsized before arresting the owner? This is knee-jerk response to issues. What kind of country are we living in? Why was Van der Poel not arrested for the June 3 disaster? This one says, I have stayed there in Yeji and I've worked very closely with the boat operators. The claim that passengers did not put on life jackets is baseless. If you see those jackets, how dirty they were, you would prefer dying instead. Those operators must be dealt with. Take your cameras there and you would see things. We've been there. Even the eco brigades who work with the navies are not paid, so how can they work? You didn't add your name. This one says, it's good that the boat owner has been arrested. The driver should also be arrested. This is from Godson in Mampong. And this one is saying, all your numbers are not going through when you call. Really? Please try and call them again. All our numbers are active, or better still, we'll give you the numbers that are active. I can understand if you're trying to call, you'd have a bit of a difficulty because there are lots of people who are trying or who are also calling on the line and they're taking them through the process. So keep trying, you would get through eventually. Okay, so let me read this one because I promised you. She said, what exactly was the owner of the boat arrested for? To bring the dead people back to life? Where was the police when the passengers refused to put on the life jacket? Cheer to Ghana Police Service. This is from Gracious in Krankwanta. We'll take a break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. Now let's see our trending tweets. Oh, okay. So you're ready for? Are you done? But there's this interesting message that was sent that I want to read. It's with regards to Mahama getting an honorary being awarded with an honorary citizenship from the Cote d'Ivoire president, and this one is saying, hope it's not Trojan horse, because Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire were in court last year. That's true. Israel. Yeah. We actually haven't thought about it. I mean, on what basis would, if they're in court with us? Otherwise, maybe he's inviting him to tell him we're taking the case out of court. Maybe. Let's hope for invitation to treat. Let's hope for that. Okay, so let's get to this tweet. It's a pretty brief one. You know, there's been this, the British High Commissioner has been getting a lot of bashing on Twitter after the Allotage Corps thing came out on social media. And he said it wasn't true that he had been arrested in the UK. People were not very happy about it. And then they, kept on taking pot shots at him. And some actually going out to, outrightly heap insults on him. Yes. Now, the MPP wrote to put out a statement telling its communicators that they should back off. Okay. And I think they some sort of, made an apology, gave out an apology. Now, apparently, Kofi Juma has also apologized, and that story is on Peace FM Online. Then he comes in and puts out this tweet: "I happily accept Mr. Juma's apology, and I've learned another tree word, kwasia."
So this could mean that, like, indeed he learned, but who he learned this kwasia from? Was it Juma who taught him kwasia, or why is he linking his new word to kwasia? Or he's telling Kofi Juma something?
Oh, hold on. He's telling Kofi Juma something?
I said, or maybe he really indeed wants to share kwasia,
because
the new word that
how
he has
you read
his new vocabulary, or he's sending him a message.
Okay, so depending on how you read it, actually, I happily accept Mr. Juma's apology, and I've learnt another tree word, kwasia.
It's interesting, Israel.
It's an interesting tweet anyway, but we'll leave it there.
Read which meaning you want to read to.
Yeah, please, read whichever meaning you want to.
On WhatsApp. Okay, so let's look at our trending video tonight.
Way that the Convention People's Party is going to lose these elections. We shall campaign in the streets. We shall campaign on top of the trees. We shall go to heaven and hear that CPP is back. We shall go under the waters, to the fishes, to the birds in the air.
And on that note, we draw the curtains on Joining This Interactive. But remember, the numbers are still scrolling on your screens. I've had a lot of messages complaining that you're not getting your signal. So follow the trend or visit our Facebook page or Twitter, and then you can get some assistance. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Have a good evening.
And my name is Israel. Have a good evening too.